we are going to take our 40 minutes. I want to be precise in that because I want to rest early. Sometimes I've been sleeping late and it has led to a lot of exhaustion and fatigue that makes you feel sick even when you are not, you know. Sometimes when you get to feel exhausted with bitter, you know, bitter saliva and all that, it may just be out of fatigue. And sometimes even it leads to a bad temper and all that even during the day. So thank you, welcome here, and feel free to be with us. All right, so first things first, the very first story that is hitting the walls is about Wetangula. And it's a very dangerous and horrible story, actually, to realize that Kenyans have opted to go for goons. You know, goons are not a good idea for anybody. The moment you consider to have your private gang attacking here and there, one day it might turn into a serious mystery, or rather what we call a sinister within a given location. And this is scaring because in past, Bungoma has been on the history of very cruel incidences of, you know, homicide and theft, you know. During the time when I was in college, I remember I studied with some people from that, and they complain a lot about incidences such as attacks even in homes, looting and killing, brutal use of pangas, you know. So it's very dangerous for any politician to consider using such people at any moment, because once you train people on malicious lifestyle, it's hard enough for them to unlearn it. However, it comes out that there is a complaint from one of the people from Bungoma who has been afraid that possibly Wetangula is after his life. The guy, Pepe, was actually attacked at Kitale Club. And if not for Chris, maybe he would be already dead, you know. So looking at that, then it tells us clearly that Wetangula is treading on very dangerous grounds. Maybe, I don't know whether it is him or the people whom he's targeting, because anything can happen. Of course, we've ever seen in 2021 or 2022, there was a very funny scenario at Kiminini, and it led to the death of some people, and of course Didmas was mentioned in it. But out of it, we didn't see a clarity of what was forthcoming after that, you know. So there is a situation whereby in Kenya, plotting against an individual who is seen as a nuisance by politician happens, and at the end of the day, they just have to, you know, they are dealt with and they get to be eliminated. Tomaten Sauz, welcome, thank you so much. And you can like the video. So when you look at these aspects, people maybe believe that whatever they are doing is secretive. Rebecca, hi, welcome here. And thank you so much for joining us into the political channel. Like the video for us. And you can keep chatting with, even with those who are on board. Not bad, but situations generally, you know, when you look at politics, it's just sickening. You look at political situations in the country, they are sickening, because the option for people to actually go after each other, it's a very dangerous move, you know. Rebecca, thank you so much for liking my video. Maybe Tomaten Sauz, you can also like the video, so that by the end of the day, we should have at least 20 and more likes. Yeah. So, accusations, they always say, whenever you see a cloud, these signals rain. Even when it's not raining currently, it might rain later. So when you see such accusations from somebody who is so highly esteemed in the society, then you wonder who to trust. You know, if the people who are sitting with the law can decide to be lawless, what about those who are away from it, you know? You may just wonder. And of course, this is not the first time we are seeing Wetangula accused of goons. There is a time Natembea went to Bungoma, and I remember he was actually attacked, and the fire was set in Bungoma town and all that. You look at that, it's uncivil, actually, beastly. These are behaviors that we expected during those times, not currently. All right? So Rebecca has given here an emoji. All right. Rebecca, why this emoji? I'm trying to understand. Okay. Yeah, so the reality is that politics can be so cruel, especially when you have selfish people who are suspicious and they are not so sure about what they are doing. Sometimes they are scared because they know the truth will be revealed, or they are scared to lose their power. So what they do is they create insecurity, or they create people who will be defending them, illegal groups. Of course, you heard about it when abduction was going on for so long. Somebody tried to say that that was out of his heart. So you are trying to say maybe love or something like that, or at heart. Okay. Yeah. So what I'm generally saying is, when politics turns into be a political ground for fights or battles, it becomes dangerous, not just to the citizens, but to the news people, currently even YouTubers, bloggers, and all that, because the politicians now begin to listen to anybody who says the truth instead of focusing on development. Because if you are a good leader and people are complaining you're not doing it, then do it. Do it to prove them wrong. You don't have to stand or even do anything or attack anybody. But because they know they don't want to do it, they go attacking, so that other people are afraid or frustrated from telling the truth. Yeah, so far, Wetangula has been accused of actually wanting to eliminate one of the people, possibly because he's so vocal. And we also saw a real exchange. I've already shown that on edutainment for us, so I'll not show it here. But if you look on the internet, you can see that quite clear. Now, Oroba has also come out to say something, but before that, let's go through the story of Kenyans in Russia. Of course, Kenyans sometimes are jobless, or even if they have jobs, they are not satisfied with the salary. So the promise of better salaries elsewhere actually attracts Kenyans to try to move to other countries to make a living. The reality is that some of the videos that came up from Maisha TV indicate that Julius Kinuthia, oh my God, that's a very funny question. I don't know. Maybe of what age are they? Julius Kinuthia, you can let us know. Of what age are they? Are they older or younger? And do you think they are very genuine about what they are saying? Let's know. Thank you so much, Bill Weston, for liking and subscribing to the video. We appreciate your presence here. And thank you so much for your contribution. The moment you come in, contribute even with a comment, you've really done a lot to us. All right. So what I was saying is that a lot of Kenyans are frustrated by life, and maybe the dreams they have drive them into looking for jobs from different places. I've seen literally parents who actually seek jobs even in the Gulf and different places, Indonesia and all that. Now, currently, there's a video that came up on Maisha TV indicating that some Kenyans actually went to Russia, and they were promised, Julius Kinuthia is saying, but I have. All right. So what if you tell them that you have that? What do they tell you? Do they still insist? When you tell them that answer, do they insist to or what do they do? And even how do they start, you know? I'm wondering, when do people start just addressing you and telling you such information as that, you know? I'm posting a question and answer there as we proceed, because there are those who like actually responding to questions posted on the platform. And our question for the day is the movie everyone should see. Maybe if you have a movie you would wish to share anybody to see, you can post as we continue with our video, so that you are not bored. Some people don't want to side chat, and instead of side chatting, I've given you a topic to focus on right there. All right. So I just asked a question to Julius Kinuthia. Have you told them about yourself? And have you also maybe, how did they come about to address or rather show such interest as you are showing there? All right. Meanwhile, let's proceed to the aspect of Russia and see this video here.
A group of men in Russian military uniforms. Their accents are unmistakable. Kenyan. One of them, exhausted and scared, looks straight into the camera and says, "My name is Evans Kibet. I came here for a job. They gave me a gun instead." It is a surreal twist in global war. Kenyans fighting in Ukraine, not for ideology, not for money, but for survival. Yes, it is true. Kenyans are fighting in the Russia-Ukraine war, but not how you think. Many were lured to Russia with promises of lucrative jobs, up to 500,000 shillings a month, plus free housing and training opportunities. What they found instead were contracts written in Russian, binding them to serve in military units. By the time they realized what they had signed, it was too late.
Wanted the military job, I don't want. I didn't went Russia for military job. I went there as a visitor to look for different places, nice places. I spent there 2 weeks.
Ukrainian officials have confirmed capture
in Russian. He told me, "This is the job I want you to do." So I didn't know it was a military.
The Kenyan government has acknowledged the or security staff in Russia, only to find themselves enrolled in combat units like the 102nd Regiment. What's more disturbing, insists that some Kenyans are volunteers. In 2024, Moscow claimed that 5 Kenyans were actually fighting for Ukraine, a counter-narrative Kenya dismissed as false and inconsistent with the neutrality resolution at the UN, now finds itself awkwardly entangled in a war it never joined. High living costs and dwindling hope. When a message... That's true. Colombia. The crisis cuts.
Can you imagine? So their jobs comes with people actually being ferried and promised good jobs in Russia, Ukraine, and other countries, only to end up in human trafficking and job scams. Instead of being given the jobs they were promised and the salary they were promised, some of them they're put to survival in in war zones. Can you imagine? You've not been even trained well, But then once you step in that country, you're forced to become a volunteer, in fact, for that case. And in such countries as Russia, Ukraine, whereby death and life is just looking at each other. So that's the reality, one of the things that is happening out there, as many young people, because you can check on the ages of those people who reported on radio, on Maisha TV. Some of them are as young as 36, 34, but they are actually facing such situations which are very tricky, right? All right, so there is something else I'm supposed to also talk about. Meanwhile, let me ensure the charger is working here. Charger. Unalala tu hivyo ama unameza hata dawa? Si umeza hata kama ni Piriton? Si Piriton inakuwa ya home. The moment unafika shule uanze kulemewa, tunaanguka shule. Amuka umeze. All right, so let's look at Oroba.
Because I use ClickUp. Here's how I keep track of all my tasks.
Yeah, of course, Oroba during the interview on Ikonini came up revealing a lot about drug barons, mentioning people like Itumbi and many more. Piriton iko hapo kwa hii bag yangu hii. Yeah, so the story on drug barons has not only come from Gachagua. You know, when Gachagua speaks, people say that why is he, see your side pocket side. Hiyo rudisha tu hapo ndani ndio isichanganyike na nini. Yeah, so when Gachagua speaks, sometimes people will be like, why is he speaking?
Everything I need to get done in a list.
Let's just check on this.
My issue is not actually, and I don't even think she should have been talking about her anymore.
Yes.
Even that was wrong for me. It's like, why are you talking about someone Mushachana?
Yeah.
And maybe that's why. Yes, she's like, I'm done with this guy. Anashinda kanifanya mimi nikuwe part of his script. Maybe that's why she came out too. Sasa ungetoa napi na Uhuru?
Okay, naelewa. Because reason ni kuuliza
was already known to be a drug baron.
Yes.
You take this person and you give them a certain privilege that then opens for them the doors to run their illegal affairs by using that office. That is what was being alluded.
Sina kuuliza America vile naijuaga. Like unakoma juzi we extradited like some Somali kid. The Somali whatever, he was extradited because money was being stolen in Minnesota. Alafu anatumiwa hapa South Sea ananunua nayo apartments. So the Americans walikuja wakamchukua.
Financial fraud, inaitwa financial money laundering.
Yes. So yeah, alikuwa Kenya. He was not the one directly stealing the money.
Crime. That's what I was looking for.
Yes. Hakuwa anaiba hii pesa, but pesa ilikuwa inakuja kwake.
So he was a conduit of money laundering.
The beneficiary.
Yes.
So
Not
America,
even a beneficiary, a conduit.
yes. But wanatiki America wakamkujia, wakasema tunamtaka akuje sasa Minnesota, he goes through the legal process. Remember, getting a visa time ya kawaida ni hard, lakini as a criminal ni haraka.
Alitolewa kwa sababu he was a criminal.
Yes. So that's what I'm asking is, if these two guys are drug barons in quotes, because this is how I was using to dismiss that, and the fact that at some point they'd been mentioned by the US, if they are still doing the business, does the diplomatic passport give them diplomatic immunity? So that means that even if America looks at them as criminals, they can come in and out. The fact that they can go into America shows that they are actually not criminals.
By the way, I'm not an expert in that, but I can tell you for a fact.
Yes.
There has not been any judicial process that has found any of those people guilty.
Yes.
And they have not been sentenced. They have not been everything we are talking about until it passes that process.
Yes.
is literally an allegation.
Yes.
And that's it's the concept of you are innocent until proven guilty.
Yes.
And I think for diplomatic ties, and this is now where the embassy is coming, and also unasikia sawa watu wetu wa Uganda wenye wameshikwa, the Kenyan ambassador to Uganda is the one now dealing with it. He's already known to be a drug baron.
Yes.
You take this person and you give them, have come and said you have stolen money worth this amount. You keep quiet. Why are you keeping quiet? So you're saying it's true.
Yeah. But nini unachikivile nasema like this shadow has
the lady who is now sitting illegally in Senate, and they were told no. But they didn't want the breaking news to be breaking news, big blow, as UDA has to wait, blah, 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 blah. So they ran a fake story. There's no case that I have dropped. I won my case in the tribunal.
Yeah.
I won my case in the tribunal. See, you people lata muliona tribunal judges wakisoma hiyo kesi nikashinda.
Okay,
I got my orders. No. I was reinstated. I went to parliament. You saw the famous nini nikinuliwa mguu. You know?
The breakdown moment.
So sometimes now there's even another poster that, let me tell you how desperate these State House boys are. They're so desperate that not only have they bought specific newsroom editors who are going against the journalist code there, by the way, to make sure news inakuja enye ni legitimate, imeverifyiwa, journalist amefanya kazi, ameenda ground, amepata news. Unaelewa? Ameleta mpaka kwa newsroom, anaambiwa yes, thanks. Ukiwatch hiyo 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock haikuji. Newsroom editor alishanunuliwa, alirushiwa kitu akaambiwa kanyaga chini. That is why I will tell you about so many things that are happening in parliament, particularly in Senate, which stories have been done, but zime.
So Gloria Oroba actually came out to speak a lot about the shenanigans surrounding the parliament, the fact that people are hiding a lot of truth and journalists are being bought. When they find the reality, it doesn't go on board because they are not ready to actually issue the correct information. And that's why bloggers have become a threat to the politicians, because they are the only ones who are ready to actually share the truth depending on what they have got. They are quick to share information, whereas media houses will actually massage the ego of people depending on who has visited them. So that is the reality that Gloria Oroba is trying to actually sell here on the platform while she was on Ikonini. Of course, you understand her. And she came to clarify the aspect of kuinuliwa mguu recently when she was being carried by the lady, the police, and her vehicle was being dragged away. Okay. Yeah. So, do you have something else left? Yeah, the other aspect that is left, and the last one, is a discussion that happened on Spice FM. Spice FM is becoming a popular media house. I don't know who owns it anyway. So Spice has been digging into the story of how politicians use churches to clean dirty money. And of course, you are seeing of late, churches are receiving a lot of money from politicians. And that money, of course, nobody can account for it. And when the church receives it, then it simply maybe can also return some. I don't know how it happens. So let's just listen to Spice FM shortly. And we may be forced to stop that maybe at 30 minutes because I'm not seeing a lot of content coming out after having discussed already this answer.
This is episode 2. And Odhiambo Otieno, who is a communication strategist, also in the know about.
For example, if you're working at Spice FM and you're earning a salary at the end of the month, that is legal money. When you're doing business and you're being paid for it, you're raising invoices and you're being paid for them, that is legal money. Because that is how the system or the matrix is, if I would use that term. Illegal money or dirty money is mandated in a way that is not legitimate or is considered illegal. For example, you are working in an office in government, and instead of doing the stuff that needs to be done, you end up maybe improving the invoices or taking advantage of the office to give yourself businesses. That is illegal money. Yes, it is money, but the way it has been obtained, it is illegal. So then it's called illegal money. Also, when you're doing drugs, for example, If you're doing drugs, of course, naturally you'll be considered to be doing illegal business because it's against the laws of the country and many others. We could go into mining, we could go into trafficking, we could go into human trafficking, kidnapping, etc. There's so many fronts of obtaining illegal money. So now once you obtain this illegal money, you have to bring it back to the system for you to use it properly. And as I said last time, people who earn below $1 million shillings may consider money to be, or whatever they have, to be quite an amount. But once you start operating beyond $1 million shillings, that's when you'll realize that it is not very easy. Because even, for example, KRA will not really bother about people who are not paying taxes below $1 million. If your income is below $1 million, that is, you're in business. But once you start hitting 5 million, your turnover starts hitting 5 million, they start sending auditors to you. Why is that so? Because you're operating at a different level that is possibly having a significant effect on the economy, either where you are locally or largely into the larger. So by the time the cars are landing at the Nini, they're already being registered at the port. Yes. By the time they reach the yard, these cars have already been sold, and this money has already been taken back. So the deposit to the bank, 200 million. Then at the 6th month, they deposit the bank how much? 200 million. Remember the overdraft they took was 50. 100 million. Yes. They bought cars worth 50 million. So it means at that point they made a profit of 50. Yes. Legitimate kwanza. Yes. Then I have the money. I have my 300 million that I need cleaned. I already gave the car bazaar guy. Told him wewe akisha pesa mengia system. But so he goes and files that these cars already.
Oh my God, we are in a blackout, so we'll have to end this so that I see how to work on power.